You're in their thoughts and in their hearts. If this is your first time checking out the Gig Geezer, if you're a returning visitor of the Gig Geezer, thanks for coming by. And if you would not mind, hit that subscribe button, give my content a thumbs up, share my content among others, and I definitely welcome your comments in the section below. I got to tell you that my reporter instincts welled up within me in putting together this segment. Now, this is really a follow-up to this segment of the Gig Geezer, in which I noted that, hey, your next delivery may be your last. Well, this should come as no surprise when you're working gig apps like Uber, Lyft, and DoorDash, and for that matter, all of them. Your loved ones, are likely to be on their own if we as drivers were to meet a fate similar to Miss Lolitha Hall, who was an Ohio woman who was shot and killed last month, March 2024, by a Clark County, Ohio man who claimed that he'd been threatened by people over the phone attempting to extort him out of several $1,000s. Miss Lolitha Hall was killed on William Brock's property, having accepted a Uber delivery request that had her to pick up a parcel or package from William Brock. Brock reacted to Lolitha Hall's presence by confronting her with a gun and shooting her dead. A portion of the incident was captured on Lolitha Hall's dash cam. William Brock presumed that Miss Lolitha Hall was a part of the scam. Police determined, however, that Lolitha Hall had no knowledge or had any part in it. Now, there are no definitive statistics available, but according to an advocacy organization, Gig Workers Rising, it is estimated that more than 80 gig workers have been killed while working gig apps from 2017 to 2022. Gig Workers Rising also claimed that 31 drivers were killed alone in 2022. I'm going to go as far as to say that there have been more than 100 drivers who have been killed while working gig apps or were active on gig apps at the time of their death since 2017. I mentioned in this segment of the Gig Geezer that it would be best from a public relations standpoint that Uber settled with Lolitha Hall's family, given the nature of how she died, her also being a scam victim. I said that with qualification, knowing that Uber is likely to claim that it is merely a technology company and that it had nothing to do with anything that transpired. However, what I did not say in this segment of the Gig Geezer was that it was also based on the likelihood that Uber is likely to do nothing. The most consistent thing that I have seen companies like Uber and Lyft do is offer a statement in expressing their shock and their sadness, and that their thoughts and their hearts are with the victim's family. What is known is that in a significant number of these gig workers' deaths, the app that they work for actually offered little to no assistance or payment. And here are some examples. Daniel Pierre de Garcia was a Uber driver in El Paso, Texas. He was shot in the head and killed by a Kentucky woman, Phoebe Copus. Phoebe Copus explained to police that she feared that she was being kidnapped once she saw Daniel Pierre's driving a car past signs pointing to Juarez, Mexico. Now, what is also reported is that she, after shooting Garcia, she took pictures of him and sent them to her boyfriend before contacting police. What is also reported, at least what is also known in television reports in which Garcia's niece was interviewed, she said Uber offered her aunt support of any kind. There is no known information of what kind of support was actually offered by Uber. Another example, Ahmad Fawad Yusufi came to the United States by way of a special immigrant's visa in 2018. While in Afghanistan, he was contracted by the U.S. military and served as an interpreter. He and his family settled in Sacramento, California. But Ahmad Fawad Yusufi would often drive to San Francisco in hopes of better rideshare paying opportunities. And according to a TechCrunch article, Yusufi would work as many as 12 hours a day, and he would possibly make anywhere between $250 and $300 a day. Yusufi was chatting with another driver while parked when he was robbed and killed by Clifford Stokes in the early hours of November 28, 2021. According to Uber, Yusufi did not have his app on at the time of his murder. Now, Yusufi's family demanded in a letter that was made public to Uber that it paid them $4 million in immediate aid and that they would pay drivers better. Now, according to the same article, Yusufi's brother said Uber offered its condolences to him, his family, and his brother's family, but it's not known whether anything was actually paid by Uber. What is known is that Clifford Stokes was charged for first-degree murder and carjacking. He's facing a 50-year sentence, but he's yet to be sentenced for it. Isabella Lewis drove for Lyft in the greater Dallas metropolitan area. On August 29, 2021, upon picking up her passenger, Isabella Lewis was shot and killed by Imran Ali Rashid, who then stole her car. Rashid then drove Isabella Lewis's car to the Plano, Texas Police Department headquarters and then opened gunfire inside the building. Rashid was shot 3 times by police and later died of his wounds. Rashid had been the subject of an FBI counterterrorism investigation between the years of 2010 and 2013. Now, according to Isabella's sister, Alyssa, the fare was for, $15. Now, based on my rideshare experience, it's likely that ride might have paid as much as $11.25, but more than likely less than $10. Even worse, Lyft's insurance company refused to pay for cleaning the blood stains out of Isabella Lewis's car and repairing the damage that was to her car. According to the insurance company, Lyft's insurance company, the damages did not exceed the insurance policy's $2,500 deductible. Additionally, Isabella Lewis's family had to create a GoFundMe page, and they raised just shy of $9,000 to cover Isabella Lewis's final expenses. Now, according to Gig Workers Rising, GoFundMe is the likely option for many families of drivers who've been killed while working these apps. Of course, another statement that is made by Uber, Lyft, and many of these apps is that they say they're making every effort to ensure a driver's safety by providing in-app tools, and that they're constantly working to improve its technology. Now, according to other articles that I researched, both Uber and Lyft say that they have offered help to drivers of families on a case-by-case basis. But it is likely, according to Gig Workers Rising, that this is dealt with in private. There are no known statistics on how many families have received actual compensation or assistance. But there is one reference, according to a media report, in which a driver's family did receive some type of financial payment. And that family was the family of Abdul Rauf Khan, who lived in Springfield, Virginia, and had driven for Lyft. He was shot and killed on February 26, 2022 by a 17-year-old passenger. He was found dead and his ID had been stolen. The 17-year-old was charged with first-degree murder and carjacking. The irony is that Khan had been driving for Lyft to put back money for his own 17-year-old daughter's college education. Lyft said, according to media reports, that they were heartbroken and that their thoughts and hearts were with his family. While I'm at it with this particular segment of the Gig Geezer, and by the way, if you like the content that's been provided in this segment or in any other segment, hit that subscribe button, give my content a thumbs up, share my content among others, and I definitely welcome your comments in the section below. I want to provide commentary to a couple of comments that were given in my last segment of the Gig Geezer about your next delivery may be your last. Punk Shock Rock commented that this is why apps should require customers to verify their identity. Well, we do know, at least on the Uber app, that there is a PIN that customers must provide in order for deliveries to be released. But truth be said, even if the customer doesn't have the PIN and the customer has been, at least by sight, identified by a driver can override that PIN. If anything, perhaps the background of customers should be checked just as drivers' background are checked on a regular and annual basis. That should be something that these app companies should do. They should do background checks on these customers as they do drivers. Now, Weezu TV 9911 said that Uber already responded with suspension to the account. Now, was that suspension of the scammer's account or was that William Brock's account? What I do know is that in the case of Phoebe Copus, her account was deactivated upon Uber's learning of Daniel Piedra Garcia's death. But when you're dealing with the families, is an account deactivation, is that of any consolation to a family who's just lost a family member? They want justice, but they also want Uber and Lyft to go beyond just thoughts and sentiments expressed to them. They're looking for answers. They're also looking for financial answers by these companies, given that these people have literally given their lives for the service of that company. That's all I have to share for this particular segment of the Gig Geezer. Again, if you like the content that's been provided in this segment or in any other segment, hit that subscribe button, give my content a thumbs up, share my content among others, and I definitely welcome your comments in the section below. I'm Inwood Lane. As always, may your grind and may your hustle continue.